So I was telling the guys that with our current setup, so we've got the camera there, we've actually got a mic here, and we've got a mic in that direction as well. And for all you video producers, you'll know that to sync all these devices up, normally you would click or you would clap, but I'm amongst friends, so here's a new trend we're going to start. We're going to pop open a bottle of champagne, and the noise of this will cause a spike in the audio and video, and we can sync all that up later. So hopefully this is...
You have one take.
I got one take. I didn't bring backup mine, so...
Oh. Woo!
Also, an excuse for us to drink.
I'm just going to nurse one. Ladies first. Ladies first.
Oh, thank you. Get that.
Ladies first, but that's a man's paw. There you go.
Thank you.
Oops, sorry. Oh, until I never worked at a pub.
Bit of bubbly.
So we won't put this into the official. This is the teaser. And then mine.
Beautiful.
Maybe Sway can find a wine sponsor. A bottle opens at every single...
I love that. Well,
cheers, guys.
cheers. Thank you.
Happy Fridays.
All right. How do you normally start these things?
Yes, so today, hang on. So happy Friday feature, everybody. Today we've been graced with our awesome, extremely active Sway member, co-founder of Ben
Loyal.
Yes, Loyal, Ben Ho. And today he's going to be sharing a lot of insight, and especially the importance of why it is so crucial to maintain and strive towards a 5-star business.
Yeah, but
right?
you know, like at the beginning of all our videos, we need to get a quote from you. Okay, something that you live by, a motto.
Kim needs that.
Give us a process.
That's my process. You need to follow it. Yeah.
So there's one from the TV series Billions, and in there's a quote which is, "You have one life, do it all." That's the quote I'll leave you with.
Fantastic.
Do it all.
Say yes to everything.
Yes, Loyal. Where are your shoes, by the way?
No one can see my feet.
So we'll just go. Yeah. So let's start. Talk to us.
Yeah.
You both just came back from your trip.
Yeah, I think that the first misconception from the trip was it was a holiday, and actually that misconception actually leaked into my internal organisation as well, because when we were away, and we're 600-700 kilometres away from home, we only post, just like Instagram, Facebook, you only post the good stuff. Yeah, the wet weather, the waking up at 6 in the morning, the getting to bed at 1, 2 in the morning. None of that's posted, so the fun stuff is out there. So I guess the misconception we want to address is we did have a lot of fun, but there was a lot of work put into the trip, and part of the outcome we wanted is to bring some of the findings from the trip back into the Sway group and then the wider community, and to all small business owners, that there is a lot of value in striving to have that 5-star rating, reputation on Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Maps, etc. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did it all begin? Because I guess this is something that I don't know. We haven't spoken about this, but how did the idea of you even just, I guess, spending the week, 7 days, away from family, away from your children, in a camper van, how did that all come about? Because the goal was to meet and reach 70 businesses.
Correct.
Right. So what was the intention around that? How did that come about? And then,
So I guess historically speaking, for 10, 20 years now, I always look at ways to combine work and fun at the same time. So I have a long history of that. This is the first time, I guess, the Sway group or some have seen it visible. So I guess where it came about was we had an existing relationship with Travellers Auto Barn, which is the camper van company.
Oh,
And
right.
we also had a relationship over time with Garmin as well, which made some of the products that you saw in the video and others as well. And in my head, they were the type of businesses that would be struggling to advertise themselves during COVID. One's a camper van company. They can't go out there and say, hey guys, travel the country, when the government's saying, hey, why don't you stay home because of COVID?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And then Garmin, with its specific navigation products which are used in camper vans, had the same challenge. So I did a reach out and I said, hey guys, what if we went on this trip? We want to do this 7 days, 70 businesses, 700 kilometres. Why don't we do that with your products and services, and it'll give you guys a boost.
Great.
And also, you know, the other outcome we wanted from this is to actually, you know, a lot of people put a lot of work into their businesses and reach the 5 stars.
Yeah.
And I don't think enough people give them the acknowledgement that they deserve. And we thought, hey, this is a good way to actually give them that acknowledgement, and also for us to find out what is the secret sauce for them having these type of reviews. Blueprint that, bring that back into Sway for current members and future members, and just the general business community.
Yeah.
What are the steps to take to actually get yourself to that same outcome?
Okay. So the big question is why? Why is it important?
Why is it important?
Yeah.
So I guess if you were to dig deep into the internet and take some of the research people have already done, if every single star that you add to your review can be attributed to about 5 to 9% increase in revenue.
Right.
If you want to look at it from a financial sense. So let's just take a really wide example. A 100k business, they do $100,000 a year. Currently they're, let's just say, a 3-star business. If they make the effort to push themselves to a 4-star business, then their projections, roughly speaking, will be 105 to 109,000, a 5 to 9% boost. So there is a financial reason of doing that. And then once again, if they then boost up from 4 to 5, there's the same increase again. Yeah.
Of course, because you know, if we go out, say, to a restaurant or in a place that we don't know, want to try something new, what's the first thing we look at? Google reviews.
Yeah.
Are we going to go for the one that's a 5-star or 4.5, or are we going to go for the one that's 3.5? We're going to go for the one that's 4.5. We don't know either one of them. We're going to choose the one that's the highest rated, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, just imagine someone who doesn't live in Cabramatta enters into our suburb looking for some beef noodles or something like that. They're going to search Google, and they're going to make their judgment out of ratings and some photos and what people have written about the business. And generally speaking, the actual stat is that 9 out of 10 people will do that before they actually pick the restaurant. So 9 out of 10 cases, people will just,
That would be
it's
one
so
of the
easy,
nice.
put it in,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's not just beef noodle, that's every single type of business that you think of.
Yeah. Okay, so I know it might sound like a very silly question, but how do we measure? Like, how do you know you're a 5-star type business?
Yeah.
Google?
Yeah, well there is, I guess if you look across, let's take a restaurant for example, they would have the reviews people have given them on Google Maps. If they have a Facebook page, then the reviews that people have given on Facebook. But then also the other platforms that they use would have some kind of review rating. So people who use Uber Eats, there's ratings against that. Yelp, TripAdvisor, there's the list goes on. These days really Facebook and Google are the ones to make sure that you absolutely get right. But once you've got that right, you should actually look through all the other ones as well and do what you can to lift
So you're
those
saying
scores
that
up.
there's different platforms, different ratings?
Absolutely.
And the goal is obviously to achieve 5-star in all platforms, but the main ones is your Facebook and your
The main approach is you look at your business and then you do some research as to how people find your type of business. And where they go looking, and if it's Google Maps, if it's Facebook, make sure that on those platforms, when they bring you up and compare you against 5 other businesses, that you're really highly rated.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. So now for the businesses that are already at that, I guess, status or caliber or whatnot, why is it important, or how hard is it to maintain this 5-star rating?
Yeah, so I guess I answered the question by breaking it down into sort of 2 bits. There are some businesses that did not plan and design everything in their business to get 5 stars.
Yeah.
So I guess to put it another way, they got there by accident. Yeah. If someone achieves a result by accident, they may not be able to replicate and sustain it.
Okay.
So that's one thing that they may or may not. Yeah. So the way to actually sustain it is to actually understand what got you that result and make sure those things do not disappear.
Okay.
And one interesting fact is that before this, I had a look at the database that the Sway committee put together, and the members actually logged into. It's a Google Sheets, and people put their business names and contacts and everything in that sheet. I think there's probably 50, 60 businesses in there, so it's a fair representation of Sway. And I would say that 99% of the businesses are actually very highly rated. Yeah, and I think it speaks to the community of Sway. Yeah. So I would then ask those businesses that are already at that 5-star level, hand on heart, did you get there by accident? You're actually not sure how you got there, or are you sure of what went into getting that result? Because if you're not sure, then you would need to look into your business and go, okay, let's make sure that whatever this was does not disappear.
Yep.
And it could be a particular staff member that is just absolutely awesome with every single customer. If you lose that person, revenues will drop. Yeah, or certain products or whatever it may be. There's something there, and I would say work out what it is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Could be passion and drive at the very beginning. We'll touch base about, not all businesses made it onto that shirt. Shelton.
Oh yeah.
This is the shirt. I didn't wear it because it doesn't fit anymore. After
the trip?
After the trip.
Anymore?
Oh, plus it's really dirty now.
How many? Is that all the businesses that you saw?
Yes, so I guess the main thing is we did set out to do 70. And where that came about is I knew the trip was 7 days. And I knew it would be 700 kilometres up and 700 down. And I wanted to have the 770, 700.
Yeah.
So kind of forced that on the marketing side.
Yeah.
But we did see more than the 39. Actually, a few Kim said, like, we can't put them on the shirt because we don't feel they were 5-star businesses, so we didn't put them on the shirt. Yeah.
So you're telling me that you visited mainly 5-star businesses?
Actually, it was, so when we say 5-star, what we mean is 4 to 5 stars.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
4 to 5 stars. It's actually 5 is really hard to achieve. Really hard to achieve. But generally, just think through this yourself. If you see a business which is 4 stars, as long as in that same set of businesses that you're reviewing, if they're all kind of 4.1, 4.3, 4.4, it's kind of like, okay, let's just have a look at which one I like.
Yeah.
But once it's got a 3 in front of it,
Right.
you're warning signs in your head. You go, maybe I won't go here. Yeah, so really the goal is to be 4 and above. Yeah.
So talking about that then, I want to know, so let's say, so for us, I'm so proud of our business and the 5-star rating. So we have over 100 Google reviews. And to actually give my own personal experience, I feel like it did come, we started off as accidents. And then we were able to grasp the importance of this, right? So Google reviews and all that. But for our business, we always say that we do have the rights to ask for Google reviews if we've done the right thing for the client. And so we proactively actually ask for Google reviews. And I feel that it has been like so vital to our business. So I wholeheartedly agree as well. But in saying that, maybe one day, someday, hopefully not, if ever we have a negative review, how detrimental would that be to a business, small to medium size? And
Yeah, so number one is it is detrimental,
yeah,
but it depends on the comment as well. So if someone gives you a 1-2 star review, generally they back that with a comment on this very specific thing.
right,
Yeah. And so, for example, let's say a mortgage broker, for example, it might be, hey, I went to this mortgage broker, I'm not happy with them because they only presented me with loan options from the big four.
yeah,
Yeah. And didn't give me options from the smaller boutique financial institutions.
Yeah.
1 star. Now, as a customer who looks through the reviews later and sees that 1 star, they might look at it and go, but I'm only interested in the big four. I don't care about not having options to the smaller ones. Now, in that case, that review didn't really harm the overall business because that comment,
it was specific to.
it was very specific.
Yeah.
But there are people who are looking for a very wide range of options, and they might look at that review and go, oh, okay, I'm not going to go to these guys because they only present the big four. Yeah. So generally speaking, the way to evaluate the impact of a negative review, especially with Google, also you can do it with Facebook, is you just look at how much traffic is going through Google or going through your Facebook page, and you can roughly estimate, okay, as people are reading through that, how many sales opportunities is it eliminating. A general number is that with every single 1-star review, this is very general, you will lose 30 opportunities.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's just something to think about. Now, that number might be too high or too low, but if you got 1-star reviews mixed in with your reviews, you would definitely be losing some business. It's going to be something. It's going to affect you in some way financially. Yeah. You mentioned a really good point because you do need to ask for reviews. Now, I'm going to clarify this. You don't go asking people for 5-star reviews. You don't do that, but you do say to people, hey, and you say this very early in engagement. Yeah, hey, I'm going to look after you, and I would love at the end, if you're happy, jump onto Google, jump onto Facebook and give us a review. Yeah, so it does 2 things. The first thing is it lets you, at the end of the engagement, say, oh, remember at the start, I asked if you can help us with a review, so that you can bring it up again.
Yeah.
But if you ask at the very beginning of the engagement, it will keep yourself honest.
Yeah, very
Because
good.
it puts you in a situation where you're like, oh, I've already asked them for a review, I better do a damn good job. And it forces you to do a damn good job. And at the end, you can ask for the review, and then you've got it. And then, as we've said before, if you can get yourself up another star, it's like 5 to 9% extra revenue, roughly. And
Oh, that is good.
I think that's might be the missing piece for some people is they're doing a stellar job, but you don't always get what you don't ask for.
Yes.
So you got to ask for it.
Yes. Whereas negative reviews, or I would say opportunities, if you want to call it that, they come all the time without being asked, right? If you had a bad experience at a restaurant, whatever it is, one of the first things you want to do is jump on and let other people know, even though it's your own personal experience. And so, yeah, that's such a great encouragement to actually have that conversation at the beginning to hold you account and to as a friendly reminder. And I think what it also does is it instills confidence for the client as well, that this person should do a good job. You know, because if that's what they're asking, then by all means.
Actually, back to your question before, how do you sustain 5 stars?
Yeah.
It's all based on averages. So if you have 1 5-star and 1 star, it's not exactly this science, but if you take the average of that, it's 2.5, 3 stars.
Yeah.
So it's important to make sure that you ask for reviews and get a lot of 5-star reviews, because occasionally when you get it will happen, 1-star review from someone who you can't please everybody. That you've got such a high number of reviews that single 1-star or second 1-star, you can't throw things out of whack because you've got a really long tail of good reviews. If you've only got a couple, that single 1-star can throw you from a 4-point-something to a 3-point-something. So you just got to make it a habit in the business to actually know what you're doing to get the 5 stars, and then actually ask people to give you that review.
I think, and what kind of like, I guess, encouragement can you have for our peers, for those that may be shy to ask for, you know, a review?
Yeah, absolutely. So, so I guess the thing
it's
is...
going to be detrimental if you don't.
It's a challenge.
Yeah. So I guess if you're a single owner operator and you're shy, then it's a little bit more challenging. But you don't have to do this verbally. It can be if you're a B2B business, it's that email at the beginning, it's that email at the end.
Right.
If you're a retail type business, there's nothing wrong with, and you've seen it in some businesses where there's a little sign going, if you're really happy with what we've done today, scan this code, go to this link, and give us a review. The thing is, in addition to asking, you've got to make it easy. You've got to make it real. People are lazy, and if they need to find you on Google then go in, you pretty much, I would probably suggest QR codes. QR takes them directly to the right page, the right section. All they need to do is click on the right star and start typing. Hit submit. You've got to make it, you've got to ask it, make it super duper easy.
Very good point.
Super duper easy.
Very good point.
And I think that's the tip for Sway, because there are such great businesses in Sway already that to protect yourself, this is about protection for most people in Sway, is keep getting 5-star reviews, so in the future if you do get a few negatives, it does not impact your rating and therefore doesn't impact your revenues.
But also, just to add to that as well, if we do experience, you know, hopefully a 2 to 3 rating, I think that there's so much nuggets that we can learn from it as well, whatever the experience has been. How do you feel about the directors or whoever's part of the team to actually reply back in acknowledgement of these reviews?
Yeah, I guess the general tips, if you do receive a negative review, is to...
Positive or negative?
Positive or negative. Once again, absolutely right. It's about engagement. You need to engage with your customers. And both negative and positive, it warrants a reply. In the negative cases, you just need to not pretend to be some corporate organisation who's spinning some BS, reply to them and just really at the end of the day just acknowledge that they feel the way that they feel, and then offer some kind of a remedy or apology that they feel that way. And then in most cases try to take that conversation offline and resolve it. Because a negative review isn't just what you see on your actual reviews on Facebook, Google, etc. Is that people who have left you that review have made an effort. They were that unhappy that they made an effort to leave you that negative review. They're still saying things to their family and their friends outside of what's online.
Very true.
And so if you actually address the issue, 2 things can happen. One is they might actually delete or amend the review. If they don't do that, the best case is they'll sit down with family and friends and go, hey, I left these guys a negative review, but you know what, they took the time to reply to me and they gave me a remedy. Maybe they're not so bad. And so then you actually, I guess, sort of cut things off so it doesn't cause further damage to
and also allows other readers as well to be like, okay, well, this person's kind of dealt with this situation and diffused it, like, you know, respectfully, like, I want to now do business with this person, or at least still have that kind of door open.
If we use the same example that we did before, say that example that we used where someone gave a 1-star review because they didn't get loan options beyond the Big 4. You know, a simple reply would, you know, we apologise that you feel this way. You know, however, this is the reason why we actually only stick to the Big 4, so we know their products really well, and we feel they're the most secure options for our customers. Now, that is public. Everyone reads that and be like, okay, they've got a point. Both have a point. And so it diffuses somewhat the negative review.
Very good. Cool.
Let's circle back about experiences of the clients that we had such high expectations. going to these cafes
Yeah.
and businesses which were rated 4.5 and so forth. But when we went there and got the experience, it wasn't exactly what we expected.
Yeah.
So that you're talking about, like, so when you went on your trip, when you visited 40 odd businesses or so,
Yeah.
on Google there was what, like 4.5
Yeah,
plus
4.5
stars,
stars. Yep.
and you actually felt the experience was not deserving of
It wasn't
4.5.
deserving at all.
Yeah. Was there a particular like industry around that, or
What was it?
it was just all
There was one, I think, food. I think there was two that were definitely food. There was a fish and chip shop that didn't.
I feel hospitality really cops it out.
Yeah, and also
Like-
it's because also hospitality has a lot of staff churn.
Yes.
Has a lot of churning staff. And I think the biggest difference sometimes between the high reviews and the low reviews is a lot of the people have high reviews, it's still owner operated, the owner is still actually the business. But as you actually grow and you actually have the fortunate position to not have to go into the business every day, then you're not there engaging with the customers, you're not there keeping an eye on staff. And if you don't hire the right people, don't have the right processes for them, and train them the right way, and make them feel like family, that the business is actually their business as much as yours, then you're not going to get that behaviour that is anywhere near the level of what the business owner would do with customers.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely the fish and chip shop that I'm thinking about, they're definitely the business owner's not here.
Yeah.
They're the type of businesses where you walk in, actually you get them in Cabramatta at the various bubble tea shops. Like you get there and the 16, 17-year-old who clearly is not the business owner is on their mobile phone and just standing at the front of the queue, sort of like when you're going to pay attention to me. And so they're the type of things where the business owner hasn't done simple things like, you know what, when you're working, no phones. When you're working, you know, this is our process to address a customer, blah, blah, blah. So if you don't put those things in place, you can't just expect them to happen. So that's something to really know, because I can see a lot of businesses in Sway on the back of their good reviews growing, and then they get bigger and better, and one day they won't be in the business anymore. And then it may lead to that type of situation.
Because
you work so hard.
And you also set such a high expectation.
Exactly.
Like, I'm checking it out and I'm going, 4.5, this is going to be a great place. So we actually have a much higher expectation because we've already got that rating in place in our minds.
So really,
It's a worse outcome.
well, exactly, right. So really, to get 5 stars in your business, there's 3 key components. So the first component is to be really, really aware of the expectation and the promise that you're setting to someone, and that you actually deliver on it. That's the first one.
Would that also be internal, like as in within the business?
I think it applies to I think it applies.
So setting expectations within your culture. So that whether you're in or out of the business, then also because that will mirror and reflect.
Exactly.
Incoming and outgoing.
Exactly. And the thing is, what you need to do. So these are the actions that you take, right? So it's about delivering on the expectation and promise. The first thing that I would advise most business owners to do is to actually, on a computer, bring up every single website, social media page, brochure, everything they've ever done, and actually read through something that they probably did not write themselves and got some agency to do. Because
like blogs or something?
Everything. I mean everything. So before a customer walks into a business, they've already gone to your site, they've gone to your Facebook page, they've looked at your photos, they've read everything, they've read your testimonials. That is what they're expecting when they walk in. That is what that's the expectation that you've set. They've looked at your reviews, everything. If you do not deliver on that, then already it is below 5 stars because it's below their expectation. So there's 2 ways to deliver on expectation. is know what it is and deliver it, or lower it. Lower it and then over deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do they always say? Under-promise,
Under-promise,
over-deliver,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But the main thing is that you yourself know what it is. Yeah. And then when you know, you bring your staff together and go, hey guys, every single person that walks in the door is expecting this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheap prices, quality food, fast, smiling faces.
Yeah.
If we don't deliver that,
Yeah.
the business is in trouble. So let's all be on the same page here, and we need to deliver this. So that's about that expectation.
Great.
Yeah. So that's the first bit. We're in trouble talking too much.
Yeah.
I'll be quick. The second bit is that when you walk into a business, I actually wrote this down about the businesses that we went to, is it actually felt like a home away from home, and you didn't want to leave because they were giving you such a personal experience that you're kind of like, I know I'm one of many hundreds of customers here today, but I do feel like it's about me. Me. And so you need to strive to have people feel that way when they're engaging with your business, because that will give them a really good experience, and that will lead to the 5-star review. Yeah. So keep your promise, deliver a personalized experience, and then you'll be surprised. The third one is that people actually really respect you and can still give you 5-star reviews if you just deal with shit if shit goes wrong. Because stuff does go wrong. And so some of the restaurants we went to, and I think probably in your day-to-day job, is there's stuff that happen that is beyond your control. And you just need to be very transparent with the customer or client and just say, this is what happened, this is the result of what happened. And in a restaurant, it's as much as, oh, we're really busy today, I'm so sorry, your meal's going to be a little bit late. And by the way, how about I crack open some wine and pour you a little bit as our apology.
Great.
And that could still lead to someone with a late meal but a 5-star review. And that's across any business. So you can probably think of examples where things have gone wrong for you and a client, but it wasn't your fault, but you just keep them up to date with what's going on, and they'll still love you.
Absolutely.
Let's circle back upon the barber experience. Eddie was his name. And it was just one of those crazy days where just everyone came. It was raining, got tradies coming in.
They heard. Yes.
And what did he mention? He said something about he wasn't going to compromise the quality of his service just because there was a queue. And I think that is a habit for a lot of people in small businesses, because they see a queue in the door, they rush, they compromise quality. He said, I'm not going to rush you. I'm going to provide the service that you came in for, and the clients who are coming in, they can wait.
Absolutely. So just to, I guess, to cover that story, Kim and I went into the barber. His hair grows really quick. He needed a shave. But that trip to the barber, it probably cost us, if we didn't go to the barber, we probably would have got 3 additional businesses on this shirt, which is a huge amount considering. So what happened is we went in there, and I think there was 2, maybe 3 people in front. We were already, and before Kim got into the chair, there were people coming through the door and going, hey, how long is it going to be? And he was quoting up to an hour plus. And I was watching him, and he was just doing his thing. And talking to the person in the chair. And the talking in the chair was the personalization of the experience. But what he said was, he goes, I could go faster to make sure that that person would definitely capture that person's business and revenue. But he said he's not going to compromise quality just to go faster, just to get that short-term business. Because he knows at the end of the day that people come for the quality, and that trumps everything. So not making these sort of short-term decisions and impact the longer-term plan.
Because how happy or how unhappy would you be if you stuff
So then
something
speaking
like that. Yeah.
as a client then, or as a customer sitting in that chair, did you feel like, waiting that 1 hour plus?
It was worth it.
Was worth
It was
it?
worth it because
Yeah.
you know what? When it
Did
was
you
my
leave a
turn,
review?
when it was my turn, he gave me the time today,
Yeah.
and that's a good reminder. I will.
Absolutely.
We made the people after Kim wait even longer. So there were these people waiting, and then we had to take all these photos and make him sign the shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so sorry, I know we just want to take some photos, sign the shirt, and these people who've been waiting their own hour.
Yeah.
And here's this guy coming out of the chair, and they're like, oh, my turn, and then we help
Guy
them.
Sebastian, is this
Guy
Guy
Sebastian.
Oh
Sebastian?
yes, the one of the
Staff.
customers said, he really looks like Sebastian.
Well, what was my angels?
Angels brought him here.
Yep.
Aw. Explains the cue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. Talk about the trip. Tell me about the fun stuff. Tell me about Kim. How is he as a travel partner?
As a travel partner, so it was 7 days. The first 2 days was getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've always said that if you really want to know someone, go on a 24-hour, 7-day trip with them, and you will see the good, the bad, the ugly, and the surprising. And definitely across the 7 days, I saw a lot of Kim. Actually, I saw a lot more Kim than I wanted to see.
Right.
But yeah, look, Kim is actually no different from, I guess, the opinion people hold of Kim today. He's really, really kind-hearted, hardworking.
Teary-eyed.
Yeah, it was a very small camper van though,
Yeah.
I must say. It was a very small camper van. Yeah, it was a good trip.
How did you even how did that even come about? Because it's meant to be just you,
No, it
And
wasn't.
then-
It was meant to be, actually, it was meant to be Hogan and I.
Hogan and yourself.
Yeah, Hogan and I. For those that don't know, Hogan's my brother and also co-founder of Yes Loyal. But we've got some stuff going on with our folks at the moment, and we felt that both us being 700 kilometres away would not be great. Yeah. And so,
But you were determined.
I was going anyway.
Yeah.
But I wanted to look for someone that I felt I would get along with and also could share the driving. Yeah,
And
share
had
the
martial
driving.
arts experience.
Also,
Yeah.
I wanted a bodyguard.
Yes, that's right.
And Mr. Charlene over here felt
Yes.
like a really, really good choice.
Great candidate. The only candidate.
And I guess Kim's never been on one of these type of trips, so
Yeah.
it felt like it was a good fit.
It was a spontaneous decision, I must say, and I thought, why not?
Yeah.
You know, this year,
Love that
I'm going to
attitude.
do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was challenging the first couple of days, I must say.
Yeah.
It's a brand new experience, but it was actually really sad that I was coming to day 7.
Oh, just me.
I heard, so here we go. Yeah, and so would you do it again? And would you do it with Ben again? Thank you.
It's a matter of Ben doing it, really, that's the thing. So, look, it was I like to say it's not where you go, it's who you go with. Which is really important. And it does.
Model man.
Yeah. So it was fantastic. And let's not forget Hannah, who was there as well. Who
Yeah.
helped a lot, I must say.
Hannah wouldn't have watched this fast. Hello, Hannah.
Hello.
But-
Love your pancakes, by the way.
But I must say, what a learning experience. You know, like what Ben mentioned earlier was, you saw a lot of fun bits, but there was a lot of hard work behind it.
Yeah.
And I really got to see how, all those lovely Instagram photos, there were a lot that weren't fantastic and there was a lot of work behind it to get it done.
Yeah. Actually, that's the other reason why we didn't hit 70. That actually, we had a lot of respect for social media influencers that post really nice pictures of them holidaying. To get the perfect shot is not just get there, take the shot. You can be there for hours trying to get the perfect shot.
Yep.
And we wanted to achieve that on the trip, and that's the other reason why we didn't hit the 70. But I think that one thing I want to say is that it was only today that I looked at the businesses within Sway and how highly rated. There are so many actual 5-star businesses within Sway, and I think that that Sway needs to probably put the spotlight on some of the shyer ones that have yet to come out of the woodworks. And if video is not the right forum, then there are plenty of other forums. Interviews like this can just simply be documented. I think there's so many ways, but whatever the way is, then come out. Come out and let people know who you are.
Yeah, it's very important. Yeah. Well, Ben, oh my gosh, as always, you're so always giving. I love your heart, and just, they're not even advices, it's just conversations from a friend to a friend, and you just don't hold back, mate. And I love that about you. The more I get to know you, it's just adds to yes, this guy is actually freaking awesome. So thank you. Thank you for actually taking us on your journey. I felt that 7-day went by really quick too. But yeah, thanks for today, and just
appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Yay. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, guys.